Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a tutorial where I'm going to be covering most of the basics, if not all of the basics, of Source Filmmaker. If you want to make your own poster, this is not going to cover animation, so if you want animation, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll think about doing that in the future. But for now, I'm just going to show you guys how to make a basic poster, how to scene build, all that fun stuff. We'll start with the name. We'll do YouTube butts, because why not? And the frame rate doesn't matter for posters, so whatever, we'll just leave it at 25, I guess. So when you create a thing, you're going to have this black screen. You're going to have these two black screens. Actually, you might not even have it look like this, but if you go to view, it should have these here that have show primary viewport. If not, I believe you can go to the window tab in the top left and you can scroll down the layouts. And I have mine set to motion editing, and I think that will make your layout look similar to mine with the two windows and whatnot. But anyway, just hop right into it. You click load map. You right click the window, load map, and there's all these maps to pick from. What I'm going to be using, because I want to do some scene building, is I'm going to pick Black Void. So you give it a second to load. Shouldn't take too long. So after your map is loaded, you're probably just going to see pure blackness. If you right click and click enable lighting, you'll be able to look around. So you'll be able to see the entire map and all of its empty glory. So for this scene, I think I'm just going to do a simple warehouse, maybe, something like that. So over here on this blank space over here, you right click, you go add new model, and then you can pick any model you want. If you want the really HD TF2 models, then you go to the TF movies in the mod filter, and you pick HWM. Typing that will bring up the HWM models, which are way more higher quality than the ones that are in the game. So let's see, who do I want to use as a subject? We could use Spy as a subject, I guess, because he has a face so we can animate and stuff. So you'll see that you can move both of these around, which is not something you really want to do. So what you do is you just click on the work camera down here, and that should make it so you can move around freely with this one, where you will work. As you can see, the name is work camera, so you can work in this one and you can do the posing in this one. So I'm gonna go over the camera settings really quick. I'm hoping this doesn't take way too long, but you know, if it does, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to explain everything. So you right click over here in the blank space where you added the model, click create animation sets for existing elements. Then you pick the camera, because that's the only thing you have. But what that'll do, if you try to move it, see, it'll tell you now you can't manipulate an animated camera light through blah blah blah. So you click this here, click the motion editor, which will make this screen down here, which means you can click on the camera here in the top left and you can now move it around. So that's what you do if you want to animate the camera. So for example, we're not going to cover this until we animate, but you know, you can move it over here. You put 2 keyframes here, and then you know, there you go. You got movement in the camera. Fantastic, but we're not going to be doing that because this is just a poster. Anyway, the settings I like to use for the lenses, as you can see, pick the lenses right here in this little side window. 50 is usually something that I like to work with. 85 also rarely, but 105 is for super close-up shots. So if you want, you know, huge detail in the face, you can do that. But if you're building a scene, 50 is usually pretty cool, and so is 35. Just depends on what kind of scene you make. For this tutorial, I'm gonna put 50. So anyway, as you can see, there's another thing. Sorry, excuse me. Here's a thing that people have been leaving comments about a lot. When they try to move the limbs, it'll stretch out like this. So they click here and they move and it gets all stretched out. And it just doesn't do what people want it to do, which is to move the entire body. And if you're wondering how you can get the bones to pop up on the screen, you hold control. So you hover over the viewport and you hold control and it'll pop up the bones. When it's in this mode, the only thing that you should do, you should never move them like this, except maybe rarely, but you should rotate. And to get these controls to pop up, if you press W, it'll make it so you have the movement, and if you press E, it'll do the rotation. So that's all that. And then now to show you guys how you can move them with ease, you right click on the animation set for the spy, go down set body, no, not set body, you go to rig, and then you click rig _ biped _ simple. Now what that'll do is it'll make him have a rig on him, so you can move his arm and it'll move his entire arm. Same with his body. You know, it'll stay together. You can't move his spines though. His spines will stretch him out. So the only things you want to move with the rig biped simple are the pelvis, the hands, and the feet as well. So anyway, that's how you can pose, like do a custom pose. But if you would like to import an animation, what you do is you right click. You just don't have a rig on him. So if you put a rig on him, you don't want a rig on him, you go to rig, you go to detach rig, and you detach the rig biped spine. It'll take a second, so don't worry, your Source Filmmaker didn't crash. It just takes a second to rejuvenate itself or something like that. You right click spy. If you want to add an animation, you go to import, sequence. This is a good way to like cheat and get an easy pose, and then you can modify the pose from there. But you click all these little things and it'll give you that. So you can, here's the selection idle. Sorry, the selection menu idle. It's really late right now. It's 1:16 in the morning, so you have to excuse me, but so you can import the sequence, and now we have a spy with a savvy pose. Fantastic. I don't really want to do that. I'm gonna do a very custom pose. So I put the rig on him again. But anyway, we can get to scene building now as well. So you right click, you go to add model again. And then if you want to find TF2 props, you go to the TF folder. You don't go to TF movies because that's just for... Actually, I don't really know what's in the TF movies. I think it's just like some of the stuff that appeared in the Meet the Team videos, but they don't have a lot of props in there. Anyway, you go to the TF. As you can see, there's like thousands of models in here. 6,400 to be exact. All the hats, all the other fun stuff. So we'll just make a really simple scene build, so you can add props and have fun with that. If you think that the prop is way too big, like I do, like half the time, see, box is definitely a little bit too big. So you can right click on this, you go to utilities, add scale control to models. And then when you click it again, you'll see that there's now a new slider down here called Root Transform Scale. If you drag it up, obviously it gets bigger, and if you drag it down, it'll get smaller. So, you can move it around. Obviously, this moves it only this direction. This moves it the other direction. This one is this one. So it actually might be a little bit easier if we take this all down to the ground floor. So we'll just set it right down here. You can click. Oh, if you want to make sure that the model is on the floor, if you hold Shift when you're dragging it, it'll make it so that it impacts with whatever you scroll over. So that's pretty helpful. I'm not exactly sure what pose we're gonna do, but it's all for fun, so it doesn't really matter. Also, if you're dragging the camera and you hold R, you can rotate the camera. So another fun little trick. But here, I'll show you guys how quick and easy it can be just to make a really quick pose. I mean, that's a pretty good pose on its own, but we're not gonna leave it like that, obviously. So you drag him down, make his crotch get completely obliterated. Absolutely the worst. You can move all of his limbs into place so it doesn't look horrible. Also, I don't know how the quality of this is going to turn out, but hopefully not too bad. We shall see, though. This is definitely a test. I've never done a tutorial before, especially not one in depth, so bear with me, please. Hopefully, you guys get some use out of this, though. See, and then you can pose all this stuff. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going for here. It's mainly just a test. Another important thing I should note is when you're posing, make sure you move the shoulders. A lot of people forget to move the shoulders, and it makes the model look really stiff. And you don't want that. You don't want models to look stiff. It's gonna be a really weird pose. But it is just for show. So no worries here. The more you use Source Filmmaker, the more you get used to using the controls properly, like switching between rotation and movement, etc, etc. And again, if you missed what I said earlier, if you press W, it'll bring up the movements. If you press E, it'll bring up the rotation. So you can do that. See, there we go. Look at that. Or you know, even actually what we could do to spice this up a little bit. We could do that. And then this arm will bring up a little bit. Have him look at the dead ringer or some of that. Just cause you can do whatever you want in your poster. Nobody can tell you what's good or what's not good. For a pose, that is. It's always good to get criticism, but people can't tell you that something... If it's what you intended, then, you know, it's what you intended. People can't tell you that's not cool. If it's cool to you, then who cares, you know? Alright. So we got this basic, super basic pose, by the way. Very basic. And if you want to make multiple barrels or anything like that, crates, whatever, you can right-click on it, you can copy, and then you can paste. And there you go. Super easy. I just put down the scale just so I can add more detail to this, and for whatever reason OBS lags my my source Filmmaker. So if you see my camera go crazy, that's why. Paste another one, add more detail, you know, fun stuff like that. Detail is very important. Never skimp out on details. I find detailing to be the most fun. So, I don't know, to each his own. We can add more models. We can go get a good old chain over here. That would be in the TF movies. We'll use this one. That's kind of big. Yeah, that's kind of really big. So we'll right click, utilities, add scale controls. Get that out of here. We'll be moving on to lighting soon, so don't worry. Just so you guys know. Move on to lighting, which will be great. We can copy this. Add a little bit more detail. Like that. Okay, now we need to give this guy his dead ringer. You want to make sure that it looks good from every side, but that's mainly for animating. If it looks okay from the front or from one angle for the picture, then it's not a huge problem. But keep in mind that if you're going to animate, make sure that the pose looks good from all sides. Anyway, let's work on his face a little bit. He's going to be looking down, so what you could do is you can grab his, when you click on his eyes up here, this will pop up, and that'll be where his eyes are looking. So if you see here, if I can get this to come over here. Oh yeah, there we go. See, if we move this, then he will follow it. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but that's because of where I have it right now. So anyway, if we put this down here, it'll look like that. That doesn't look very good, so we have to edit his face. The multi-close lid is what I like to use the most when it comes to faces, this slider right here, because this moves his eyes up and down like that. It's really helpful to express, well, actually, this is what I think helps express a character the most, is the multi-close lid. And then if you want, you can change the slider to the left or the right, which will change what part of the face moves. So if you put it over here all the way to the right, only his right will move. And if you put it all the way to the left, obviously his left will move. If you put it in the middle, then it moves both of them, but one more than the other. So we can do that. And if you add brown, it'll give more character to him. And then we can mess with the lower face a little bit. We can put the lip up, and then put that one up as well, which will kind of do something. I don't know. Mess with the face a little bit. I'm assuming these are things I don't really have to explain, like just messing with the face. You can basically just screw with the settings and figure that out, because there's not much I can tell you. A lot of it you just have to screw with to figure out. That's how I did it. I wonder if I can move this back a little bit, his shoulder, change the pose a little bit. Oh no. Oh, whatever, it's fine. It's fine for showing purposes. Yeah, see, he looks kind of sad, kind of remorseful maybe. You can do whatever you want. It's crazy. Utilities, scale controls, put it down because it's way too big and fat. I'm basically just hoping that you guys can get something from this. If I can help you guys get into Source Filmmaker, then that's fantastic. Always good to have more people in the community. Alright, so we got this. Now we need to add the good old Dead Ringer, but I don't know what it's called, so we can just nope, see, it's not called Dead Ringer. Sometimes the items aren't called what you'd think they would be called. If we go to watch, pocket watch. See, it's called a pocket watch. I don't fully know why. They don't have their actual names. But it's okay. So we put it in his hand. And I'll show you how to pose the fingers as well to make it not look so poopy. Although I've been kind of bad with posing fingers lately, so we'll see how it turns out. Also, sometimes this is a problem. Yeah, it's happening. So as you can see, like, it's really slow when I click and when I try to move it. It's really laggy. I don't know why that happens. It happens when you apply a rig to a model. So sometimes that'll happen and it's not cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach the rig. And now, once that loads, we should be able to pose fingers with no problem. However, remember that you can't move. You cannot move the hand the way you did before if you detach the rig. Anyway, so now you can click the left fingers and stuff, and you can pose. And remember that fingers are weird. Fingers can move in a very wide range of ways. So don't be afraid to experiment. And if it does all screw up, you can, like if you feel like you screwed up the fingers or anything, you can go over to the top here, go to procedural, and you can drag it to default, and it'll change it back to where it was. So no harm done. Just experiment. See, you can move the fingers in a way that makes it look good. Might take a little bit, and it's pretty finicky. Also, if you click and drag and scroll the mouse up and down, it'll zoom it in and out. So that's a quick way to get to little details quickly. I don't really know how he'd hold. Yeah, okay. Also, don't be afraid to don't be afraid of looking silly if you want to pose your hand in real life the way you think it would be. Because I do that all the time, and I know a lot of people do it. Animators used to do it to get expressions down. But see, that doesn't look too bad already. It can be better, but again, this is just for explaining purposes, so I don't have to go super detailed in it. With it, I should say. Sorry. Just the bare minimum. See, now he's holding pocket watch. We can also pose his other fingers because leaving the fingers is also something that people do. We don't like doing that. That's not a good thing to do. You don't want to leave your fingers unposed. It's super easy to pose them too. They can go inside each other and it'll look good. Because while these are models in real life, if you if you push your fingers and stuff, those will definitely not just stop. The skin pushes and stuff. I'm not going to. That sounds really icky when I explain it, but there you go. See, it's already posed way better. Again, this is strange pose, but it's just for helping you guys out. I want to help you guys learn. If if you have if I miss anything, feel free to let me know. Like, I will answer it as well as I can in the comments. Well, let's see. What else could we add to this scene? We could add a window. Make it a dark window, or a dark scene. The windows are kind of finicky to find because half of them are invisible on the back. And then a lot of them just, yeah, see, that's invisible as well. That one is not invisible, so we'll use this one. A lot of them are really big as well for some reason. I don't fully understand why. I don't think I've ever seen windows this big in TF2, so I don't know where they're used. Let's see. I've made this scene so many times before, it's pretty much the same stuff, but it's really all about finding something that you think looks pretty. I know it sounds really stupid, but you know, if you're not enjoying what you're making, then what's the point in making it? And we'll just add 2 windows there. Perfect. So here's where things start to get a little finicky though. Like, what can we use for a wall? There's a lot of ways you can cheat. A whole lot of ways you can cheat. If you type wall, like, you're not going to find anything really, just some props and stuff. But there are ways that we can easily cheat this, especially if you have custom content, like the beta content pack, which I will hopefully remember to put in the description. If I don't, somebody can remind me, but if there's even anybody watching, like, I don't even know how many people are going to be interested in this, but yeah, like, as you can see, there's not really much to go on. This is something that I would use. I would use this. I'll use this for the sake of using it. So this is 180. I don't want it. Oh yeah, if you want to get something like on the what would you call it? On the grid, I guess, so it's not all crooked like this. You can go 0, 90, 180, or 270. I think 0 is what I want. Yep, 0. So then we can put this here. We can position it the correct way. Maybe. Hopefully we can. As you can see, it's too big, so we have to go to our good old utilities and add scale controls. There we go. It looks kind of weird because... oh, there we go. See, this wouldn't really work for a scene where it would be daytime or anything, so if you're doing a daytime scene, this won't work. Well, it might, but it probably won't. I'm going to be doing a nighttime scene, so it can overlap, it can intersect, it can do whatever it wants because it's not really going to show up. Not really, at least. I hope it doesn't. Okay, we bring it over. Fill this up. No empty spaces, otherwise we look bad. We pull this over as well. I think we have to go up as well. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. We can do this. Just go boop. And look at that. We have pretty much a wall. It's crazy how quick and easy you can build like entire sets. But again, like, you know, you can do anything you want. You can scene build to your heart's content. You can practically make anything, but see, now we have a wall. And it won't even show up in the what's it called? In the actual picture, the finished picture, once we get to lighting, which we should get to pretty soon. Let's see. We can do the moon. Okay, the moon's kind of hard to find because of the stupid moon base models, but wait. I swear I saw it. There's a crater, there's the base, there's some other crap we don't need. There's some stars. Wait, what does the stars look like? I can maybe use the stars. Oh, there they are. Okay, those are icky. I don't like those. Never mind. Those are little squares. Alright. I'll find... okay, actually, I think I have a moon in my workshop. right? No, not Dark Souls. Yeah, there we go. I'll use this moon. So you can just put a moon outside the window. And there you go. Rotate it so it looks nice. Cool. So now we have a very nice little moon. Could even move it a little bit more, like right there. Or maybe there's too many things on the left side of the screen. So how about we move it over to the right? We can just move it like that. Pretty. Alright, so let's get to lighting. So now you can right click. Actually, very quickly before we get into lighting, if you want to add all this stuff because it's, you know, it's scene build, so you don't need this all cluttering up your stuff. You click this little option thing in the top right of the little side thing. You can, I think it's show scene hierarchy, and that'll allow you to select all of this, right click, and group selected whatever. So now you have this entire thing. All these props are inside of this group. You can open it up with that. And there you go. So that's awesome. Now we can even change his pose a little bit, I think. No, I don't want to, never mind. It's disgusting. We can, however, if you don't have, a lot of the characters have I want to say like capes, but that's not the right word. A lot of them have, what would you call that? Like coattails and stuff that you can pose. So you can get even more detailed with your scenes by posing those. There we go. See? Now it looks like his coat's been pulled up over that. I didn't really do so well right here though, so we should edit that a little bit. Although I don't, oh whatever, it's fine. You can't even see it. Alright, let's get into lighting. So now, okay, why did that, no, you group, stop it. So, always, by the way, press Control S. It'll save your project. We don't want Source Filmmaker crashing on you and you losing all your progress. That would not be cool. You don't want that to happen. So Control S, just all the time. Just get that ingrained in your mind. I learned it the hard way because my stuff would keep crashing. But one more thing before we get into the lighting. So on the camera properties, as you can see, not so detailed because let's see. It's just everything's flat. There's no depth of field or anything like that. So what you do is you click the motion editor right here at the bottom, so that the thing goes green, and then you can move the focal distance. That is what will be your object of desire, we'll say. Make sure that what you want to be in focus is within the purple square. And then you drag the aperture up. The aperture, I will show you very quickly. This is with no aperture. This is with half aperture. As you can see, stuff in the background starts to get a little bit more fuzzy. And this is with full aperture. Everything is extremely fuzzy. You don't want it to be like that. That's way too fuzzy. But for detail's sake, we'll put it like here. So things are only a little bit fuzzy in the background. Oh boy. And it doesn't look super detailed as well. Like, this is another issue that I'm sure people will talk about a lot. I don't know if you could see it in the video, but there are like black grains on your character and models. And that is the anti-aliasing, I believe. I don't know if that's incorrect, but if you don't want these like this gray like black fuzziness on your character, what you do is you right click the window, you click render settings, and this is what you want to look at right here. You depth of field, you're going to want that to be, the higher the number is, the more smooth it becomes. What I've noticed is that 128 is the bare minimum. So if you want it to look pretty detailed, but not take 15 hours to render, you want to go with 128. But for posters, it doesn't matter. For posters, it's going to take about, I don't know, I want to say 30 seconds or so to render. Maybe a bit more, like maybe about a minute. But for videos, you don't want to do anything higher than about 256, or else it'll take way too long to render out. Or I'm just rendering dumb, but For pictures, you definitely want to do the max for both of these, 256 and 1024. And now, as you can see on the final render thing, the camera 1 screen, there's no more black fuzziness, so that's fantastic. Also, I believe we can bring up the good old aperture a little bit, because now that we put the depth of field up and stuff, it's less fuzzy. Alright, now I'm sure what everybody's been waiting for. Sorry it took half an hour to get to it, but we're finally going to get into the lighting. So you right click, you enable lighting, and then you move the camera, and oh look, everything's black. Well, if you right click over here, you click add new light, and there you go, look at that, we got a light. It'll put it in its own little group if you enabled the scene hierarchy. So what you do here is you click and drag the light onto the camera here, right here. That'll put it here. And now you make sure this is green. You go to the motion editor and you can move that around. So see, now you can move the light around. We can make the lighting however you want, but always keep in mind that there should be a direction that the light is coming from. For example, mine is the moon, so the moon is coming from here, so you probably would see light like that. An important aspect of lighting, I would say, is rim lighting. Rim lighting is what you see here, how you can see the spy's silhouette. Well, I don't know if that's the right word, but the spy's outline is a white light, so you can make out his character a little bit because of the rim lighting. And rim lighting is, I would say, omegally important. And since the moon, like, there are barely any lights in real life that are pure white. So if you go down here in the lights, when you have the light selected, you scroll down and there should be the colors. You screw with the colors to achieve something that isn't pure white, because that's usually no bueno. Usually, sometimes it works. We'll add another light. We'll put it like right here. Sorry, had a little burpee. As you can see in the background as well, like, there's big shadows. You probably don't want that for like main lighting. Like, we'll add that later, but for now, you don't really want that. Make sure you get everything lit up from the front, and you grab the intensity right here, and you drag that really far down. Like, you want it to be very, 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 maybe not even that. Another fun thing you can do is you can double click the, instead of using the slider, sometimes you just can't get it right, so you can double click and you'll see the numbers here. The lower numbers you make, the darker it will become, obviously. If it's at 0.01 and it's still too dark, you can go 0.009, and that's one thing below 0.01. So we'll go to 0.005, and now that's pretty dark. It's still white though, we don't want it to be white. So we'll drag it like that, we'll make a nice little teal color. Then again, we're not done with lighting. It looks okay. It doesn't look too bad, but it's pretty flat, so we'll just start messing around with some more lighting. Maybe even give a directional light from here. But as you can see, that is too bright, so we bring the brightness down, and that'll give a decent little light there. We can make it super blue, just cause. There we go. See, but now the spy looks like he's too dark over here, so we should probably add some sort of light over here. Doesn't have to be a lot of light. In fact, it should not be a lot of light. We don't want a whole lot of light, because that'll ruin the illusion. Actually, for my scene, I might not even need it. But yeah, for now, I guess I'll leave it like that. But now I'm going to show you another fun little lighting trick you can do. Tip, trick, whatever. So usually you see some sort of volumetric lighting in scenes. So you enable the lighting again. There's nothing really super crazy that stands out in this scene, right? Well, if you right click the light over here, you can click enable volumetrics. And what that'll do, as you can see here, is do nothing. What? Oh, the light intensity is really far down, my bad. But yeah, that's what volumetrics does. Volumetrics adds this, like, I want to say smoky effect, which is super nice. It's really nice for scenes. If you add this, it'll make your scene look a little bit better, depending, but I think it makes scenes look way better. So see, like that, put that there. And then we'll put another one right here, just because volumetrics are amazing and I love them. But that one's kind of really intense, so we'll just put that down a little bit. Like that. Alright. We'll add another light because the background's kind of really dark. So we do that. And we do, I want to say, put it back like there. Put the intensity down. There's a beauty in its own by making the backdrop extremely hard to see, but yeah, there we go. And we'll make that super blue because blue's a really nice color. I wish I had a reason to contrast lights. Like, scenes can get really, really cool if you use contrasting colors. Like, for example, if I were to have a campfire down here, it would look pretty cool because I'd be able to, you know, do something like this. Hold on. I'd be able to use something like this, like an orange color. But obviously not like that because that's like all of his character. But, you know, like something like that. It's really nice to see contrasting colors because you can see, you know, orange and blue clash, but they clash in a really pretty way and it just looks really nice. But I don't really have a reason to have that there right now. So we're almost done already. Like, that's pretty good. It's only 40 minutes just about. I'm just covering the basics to help you guys make posters and stuff. You can add more details by adding like volumetric lights and stuff above, as if there's, you know, light. That's how we can do a contrasting color. We could add like an orangish light, as if it were, I don't know, some sort of factory light lighting down on him. Look at that. That one might have been too much though. This one's kind of in the way. I can't really see because there's a glare. I don't know why I have this light on. There we go. Now I can see. Wow, that's incredible. There. Yeah, I'm not sure I like the color. Make it a little bit more yellow. Hide this one a little bit more. Would that look better yellow? Let's see. Looks alright, I guess. We can turn the intensity down because we don't want it to be too bright. Alright. So that's pretty much the basic to, or the basics to making a poster. Like, as you can see, we made this pretty decent poster. The pose isn't fantastic, so you should probably spend more time on the pose than I did. I just wanted to get something, like, out so I could light it up and stuff like that. But yeah, that is the basic idea. So as you can see, I don't think I left anything out, but if I did, again, feel free to leave a comment and I will do my best to answer it. But that should be just about everything. I've shown you depth of field. We can see that. I've shown you the volumetric lights, the rim lighting. As you can see here, I'm pretty sure you can see my mouse. Or, yeah, mouse, sorry. See the rim lighting. It's pretty nice on the Spy. Dude, I'm tired. It's almost 2 in the morning. I shouldn't be doing this at 2 in the morning. But yeah, that should be the basics. Again, I'm not gonna go on anymore, but that is the poster that we made in roughly 40 minutes. It could be way better, and I'm sure you guys will do extremely good. If you do make a poster while watching this, please go to my Steam profile. There's a link in the description, and post a picture to where it is. Like, I think you can do this actually. You can go to File, you can go to Community, Publish Image to Steam, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but I think if you do that, it'll put it on Steam. You can get the link, and I want you to put it on my profile, and I want you to show me what you made, because I'm sure it's incredible and amazing, and I really want to see what you guys have done. So, again, that'll do it. That was all the basics, I believe. So yeah, maybe I'll do more in the future. Maybe I'll do an animation or something along those lines. Just let me know how you guys like this. This is my first time ever doing a tutorial, and I don't know if I did very well, especially since it's insanely late. I just kept getting tongue-tied and whatnot. But I'm done digressing now. My Gatorade's freaking warm. God damn it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. Again, if you did make something, put it on my Steam. And let me know how you felt about this, because I had fun. Surprisingly. Well, that'll about do it. That'll about wrap it up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys got something from it. And I will see you guys wherever else I go. I'm sorry for repeating myself a million times. Bye, everybody!